Jeff Hudson, the CEO of Venafi, and they specialize in digital certificates, the security arena for these products. How are you doing, Jeff?
Good, Danielle. Thank you for having me today.
Yes, thanks for being with us. So can you just start off with the myriad of ways that these certificates can be stolen or forged, and then if someone has these, what they can do with them?
So, digital certificates and keys are used to establish trust. And recently we've seen a whole lot of APT attacks. And Mandiant, in their report, identified that almost all of those attacks use one of these credentials or certificates or keys to perpetrate the attack. So almost all of the APTs use certificates. The reason the bad guys are using certificates is that people are not paying attention to certificates. They're instrumental in what happens and how trust is established, but people aren't paying attention. So what happens is these certificates either get stolen and used, or they get forged. And in any case, it's kind of like having a piece of poison. So the analogy is trust is this living thing in an organization. And trust uses these certificates. And trust is healthy if the certificates and keys are healthy. But what happens is the bad guys, because people are not paying attention, inject poison. And then trust gets sick. And when trust gets sick, the bad guys have a field day. So the bad guys love this because nobody's paying attention. And you can't just turn off trust. And trust is built on certificates. So they're attacking the certificates.
I know you mentioned that malware was just the tip of the iceberg. You know, what kind of access can people get with, a certificate? What are they used for?
Well, certificates are used to do two things. They're used to authenticate, to know who you're talking to. And they're also used to encrypt the communication between whoever it is you're talking to. And what we're talking about here is anything other than people. Because people use passwords and usernames, but machines and software and routers and gateways and servers and phones and cameras and all those things, those aren't people, right? But they need to talk and they need to trust other things. And they use certificates and keys to do that. So we're talking about the fundamental way that all of these things that aren't people trust one another in an environment. And that's what the bad guys are going after. Because frankly, other than the technologists and a lot of people that are steeped in the knowledge of how these things work, a lot of the audience now that's listening right now doesn't understand certificates. I mean, this is a big problem. People don't understand. And they don't understand the fundamental issue is you got to reach in, you got to find out what's out there, you got to find out what's poison and what's not, and you got to get rid of the poison. And most people don't even think about that. They can't imagine that a certificate or a key would be poison. But it is, and it's damaging trust.
And just to talk about, I guess, the issue, you guys have done, studies on with professionals. What have you guys found?
Okay, so two things. One is every time our customers are the Global 2000, and every time we engage with one of them, we help them understand and we scan the whole environment to find out what's out there. What of these credentials, these certificates and keys are out there and active. And then we help them identify which ones don't belong. So in that process, we always ask somebody, well, how many do you think you have? And they'll say, well, we have like 10,000. We'll find out they've got 40,000. So they don't even know how many they have. So there's these things out there that are poisonous, and they don't even know where they are. Okay, so that's one. So that's what we learn every day in working with our customers and our prospects. Not Mandiant, but Ponyman just did a study. And they calculated the cost of this failed trust, the cost of having sick trust that's based on having poisonous certificates and keys. And they found that 51% of the people that they surveyed said, we have no idea how many certificates we have. 51%. Further, they found that the total exposure of these APTs for these corporations is somewhere around $400 million. And the chances of anybody falling prey to these attacks means that in any given year, it's about a $30 million exposure. And this is so that there's dollars that say there's a problem here. There's all kinds of evidence we have that say people don't know about it. and we know this poison is in the system, and it's got to come out, or we're going to not have systems that we can trust.
Once again, this is Jeff Hudson, CEO of Venafi. Please join us next time.